Okay, the next part of the session, we're looking at essay writing, and we're down to we're looking at discussion questions, and we're looking at to what extent questions. So the next one was an argument question. So this one here really is getting you to put up an argument, and it would use verbs like how or examine in the question. So here are some examples to help you. Examine how Rosemary Dobson's poems explore the search for hope and grace, which is an important part of human experience. How does the examination of compassion and forgiveness in Arthur Miller's The Crucible depict both the positive and challenging aspects of human experience? Discuss how the journey undertaken by the participants in Go Back to Where You Came From enables them to understand and appreciate the diversity and complexity of human experiences. So as you can see, those questions have a common core, the idea of human experience. So how, it could be, how was this seen in the text? So what is the particular aspect of human experience? How does Rosemary Dobson explore it in terms of giving us ideas from the poem and showing us what techniques she uses? So how means a development, and it's also telling us, show us evidence which makes that writer or composer effective in what they do. The next one is question about form. Another possibility is a question that explores specific aspects of textual form in relation to your prescribed text. They could be general or specific to your text. So, how has the textual form influenced the ideas, values, and attitudes presented within your prescribed text? So, that's an easy question, probably for modules A or B in paper 2. The other one is more specific to human experience. However, it'll often be a generic human experience. But let's have a look at the next one. Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice examines the human experiences of rivalry, romance, and loyalty. How are aspects of comedy used to comment on social attitudes? Last one, how does I Am Malala use a powerful first-person narrative voice in her autobiography to explore the author's experiences of oppression and empowerment? So what we're saying here is these are the types of questions you can get, and you can get them in paper 1 or in paper 2. If it's specific to a text, it'll be in paper 1. If it's specific to a text, it'll be because it'll say refer to your prescribed text. But we need to be aware of the different questions that we will be receiving. So once we are aware of them, we can start preparing for these types of questions. Then there's language device questions. A specific language feature within your text could be the focus of the question. So you could see you have to be ready for everything. That's really what they're saying. How does Orwell's 1984 use setting to represent the collective human experience of living in a dystopian regime? Discuss Daldry's use of juxtaposition in the film Billy Elliot to portray the struggles and challenges experienced by the protagonist as he is confronted by new experiences. In Vertigo, Lowry uses imagery to vividly explore the natural environment and its effect upon the character's personal growth. Discuss how the setting enhances the portrayal of human experiences. Or it could be an extract question where they give us a particular part of a book or a play of a text, and we are asked to discuss it or answer an extended response question to that. For example, there's an extract there. Central to the Shakespearean drama, The Merchant of Venice, is the idea of judgment and the way it affects our humanity. Discuss the role of judgment in the play, The Merchant of Venice. In your answer, you will need to refer to the extract above. So they're the different types of essays you can get. To what extent, presenting an argument, discussion, an extract, something about language. So there's quite a diversity. Let's look at how to put essays together, because this is essential for paper 1 and for parts of paper 2. Now, the essay is timed. So what I would advise you do is when you practice your essays, time yourself writing your essay. Never memorize a whole essay. Memorize 80% of an essay, because you always need to adapt it to the particular question that you've been given. And you fall into the trap of just regurgitating your essay, and the examiner will know that. If you do not answer the question, you will not get a mark that you will be happy with. You might pass, but you won't get more than that. They will know straight away that you've memorized that essay. So it's a good idea that the introduction especially and the conclusion, they're things that have to be adaptable to the question. You might have the body of the question and certain points for your essay ready before you sit for that exam. So it's good to time yourself when you are practicing, to pick up a pen, get a piece of paper, and to write what you remember. Now, first time you write it, you might give yourself, more time. It might be 50 minutes or an hour. Then as you get better at it, you will be surprised once the essay is in your head, how quickly you can write it down. I've seen people write an essay, once they know the chunk of that essay, most of that essay, they can write it in about 20, 25 minutes, very easily. But in the exam, if you have to think on your feet, it could take you up to an hour to write a good essay. And even then, it's not as polished as you would like. Now, read and highlight your notes. Select the key ideas and have them ready, because there's a lot of things in your essay, but you don't need all the words. All you need are the main words, the key words, the key ideas. Otherwise, you'll fall into the trap of just memorizing word for word. And when you memorize word for word, if something does go wrong, if you crash in the exam, you'll forget everything. So it's better that you know the key ideas, and then you can expand upon those ideas. After reading the set question, write down your ideas in point form. Put the most important ideas first and then the least important last. Don't worry too much about quotations. You can put them in later. I always say prioritize your ideas, because sometimes in an exam you do run out of time. So it's no use putting your best idea at the end and running out of time when it could have been done at the very beginning. So prioritize your work. So once you put all your ideas down, and this is in writing essays, you have to try to group these ideas together into categories. Because some people say brainstorm. Brainstorm's good. It puts all your ideas out there on paper, and you need that as part of essay writing in general. But then it comes to a point where you have to start gathering these ideas and then seeing the links between these ideas. Once you start gathering these ideas, they fall under an umbrella, and these become the topic sentences and the body paragraphs. But then you can find connections with those ideas, and they become the connective phrases or points that gives your essay a greater sense of unity. Now, some people use subheadings, some people use color coding. It's up to you. Now, obviously, you can't do that. Color coding and all that, I prefer that you do it when you're planning essays, not necessarily in the exam itself, but using a different color pen is useful. And you don't need that many ideas in your essay. You might need 3 to 5 main points. Each of the main points becomes a topic sentence for your body paragraph. And when you're looking at a question, always try to come up with similar words to the words used in the question. Why? Because you don't want to use the same word in the question over and over and over again. It just becomes monotonous and boring. And it shows the examiner that you don't have a diverse vocabulary. So it's always good to find similar words or synonyms for the key words used in the question. Now, if you're not in an exam, you can use a thesaurus to help you put those ideas together. So in an exam itself, you've got 40 minutes, but I also believe in that 40 minutes, you need to spend some time planning. The best essays we have are when people plan their ideas and they put their ideas together. So planning gives the essay more polish. So what do you do? What do you take with you in the exam? You need to take quotations and key themes. So what I tell people to do sometimes, if you've got the quotation and you know it, the first thing you should do in the exam is write the quotations out. So they're not floating around in your head and creating confusion. You also need to have specific events from the text which relate to what you are studying, relate to the concepts that you are studying. Then, of course, you have to adapt these ideas to the question. The question doesn't have to adapt to you, you have to adapt to the question. Now, you have to respond properly to the question. Now, most of the people say to me, "Sir, I answered the question." Yes, you answered part of the question, and then it becomes, to what extent did you answer this question? To a great extent, you'll get more marks. Everyone answers the question, but it gets down to that part that we spoke about. Did you analyze and synthesize the question? Did you unpack that information into a complex, integrated response? So you have to integrate your ideas in your introduction. But I also say don't write your introduction first. Write it after you've got the main points out. And you know from the main points what your argument is, then you can write your introduction. We said write synonyms. That's important for the exam as well, which is the part where you show your flair as a writer. And topic sentences are important. So I don't think when you plan, you should do your topic sentences first, because from your topic sentences will come your arguments, and then will come your introduction. Some people start their introduction first and then hope everything falls together. Whereas the introduction should be the crowning achievement of their work. It should summarize their work. You can't summarize something that you don't know. Then you write your essay, and the conclusion is very important. You must sum up and connect the arguments, and you must not introduce new ideas to the essay. Okay, so I'll just give a quick summary about essay writing, because essay writing is key to, we said we could have 80 out of 100 marks come from the extended response or essay writing. So I'll just quickly go over those points again and some tips on essay writing. After you're reading, highlight the key words and phrases. There are always key words and phrases in the question. I always say read the question 3 or 4 times if you have to. Then once you've read it, brainstorm. Put these ideas down that are floating in your head. Now, there are directive words in the question. So remember what the directive word is. You've brainstormed. Now you've got the directive words. Now you start to put key points together based on those directive words and your brainstorming. So it's a different function of thinking. And then you can start putting together an argument. So number the points from the most important to the least important. Then once you have these points, put a piece of textual evidence for each. Now in the exam, we spoke about the technique. Put your quotes down and all your ideas, because that gets it out of your head. Now your brain can concentrate on putting these ideas together, not juggling with evidence, but the evidence will be there for you to see and use as you see fit. Then once you've got your points numbered from the most important to the least important, then put your thesis argument together. Put your argument, and your argument will sound more confident because you've gone through the points, you've gone through the evidence, and you'll say, yes, I know I put this point, but I can back it up with this particular piece of evidence. Now you're ready to do your introduction, and then you can do your conclusion. So your introduction is like the top bread roll of your hamburger bun, and your conclusion is the bottom bread roll of your hamburger bun. So I hope these slides have helped you. There is a lot to this course, and it'll only come with practice, but these questions and an understanding of these questions and the rubric should put you in great stead for this English exam. Good luck, work hard, and if you put the hard work in, you will achieve the results. Take care.